Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be walking you through how I set up my budget for May 2020. It's been a couple of months since I did an actual budget with me on camera, and to be honest, March and April was all over the place. I probably should have did a budget with me anyway to hold myself accountable. So if you're interested in seeing how I set up my budget, make sure you keep watching. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is OZELLA, and my channel focuses on all things related to being more intentional with money. Right now, me and my husband are on a debt-free journey, so I'm choosing to share my journey with you all. And I also create budgeting videos as well as videos to share general money tips that you guys can use along your own personal finance journeys. And if you are a returning subscriber, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so appreciative and so blessed for all of my new subscribers. We are on a long journey paying off 6 figures of debt, so I appreciate all of the support and all of the accountability. Before I get started, I do want to explain what I'm using today. Now, if you've watched any of my previous Budget With Me videos, I was using a Happy Planner Classic size, but I found that the Happy Planner wasn't really specific to my needs. I was making a lot of my own printables and pretty much gutting the entire Happy Planner. So I figured, why not just create a planner from scratch? So I started crafting this budget planner. Actually, it's not a budget planner. It's like a all-around personal planner, but I just include my budget in the back. I'm using a Tool half letter size planner, and then I also have the Happy Planner extension rings. So all of the printables that you see today, I made myself, and I just put them on my new Etsy shop. I combined it into a budget planner bundle. I do want to briefly walk you through all of the printables so that you know what you will receive when you do purchase the planner. So you kind of got a glimpse of my master bill list. Pretty much what I like to do is keep this list at the beginning of my budget planner so that when I'm doing my budget, I can kind of cross-check and make sure I didn't forget any of my main bills that I'm responsible for paying each and every month. So I will come back here and make sure kind of like I checked everything off that I have in my budget, because there's been plenty of months that I budgeted and I forgot to include one of my debt expenses. So that's why I keep the master bill list here, and it just has the bill name and the due date. So my goals for the month, let me take this out because I don't like writing with these rings here. I think that's one of the main drawbacks with the disc-bound planner setups. Just gonna set this to the side for a sec. So one of my goals for May is to track all of my expenses. I haven't really been good at that in the past, so I really want to get into the habit of tracking my expenses so I can see exactly if I'm sticking to the budget, if me and my husband are sticking to our budget. So I really want to focus on that this month. Then sticking to my budget is another thing that I want to do. Stick to my budget. Because if all goes well, we're going to make a lot of progress as far as our debt journey is concerned this month. And I want to make sure that we're able to do that. So sticking to our budget is going to be key, as well as budgeting any additional expenses. I have a really hard time of writing and talking at the same time, so I apologize. But when I do our budget for the month, I will budget on a conservative side. Basically, if I don't know exactly what that budget or what that paycheck is going to be, I will budget on the lower end. And so sometimes our paycheck is a little higher, really my husband's paycheck, because my paycheck is pretty much the same each and every week. And then my goal is to pay at least $1,000 towards debt this month based on our budget On to the notes section. Notes are just a section for me to jot down anything that I want to pay attention to or remember while I'm actually creating my budget. One of the things is Mother's Day, and that is on May 10th. And I do have my mother and my mother-in-law to buy for. Another thing is my son's birthday is next month. And I want to make sure that we are putting up something to save for a gift for him. As you know, you probably know that the student loans, your federal student loans, are likely on the forbearance until September 30th. And I have chosen to put that money towards debt. So I'm not paying on the student loans at this time because of 0% interest. And if I was to pay on the student loans, I really wouldn't be making that much progress in knocking them out. So I figure it's better for me to pay towards something that I can actually pay off in the next few months and then increase my debt snowball. So what I like to do is still budget that money in as if I'm paying these student loans, but I make a note of it because I'm not going to actually pay that money towards the student loan. I'm going to pay it towards debt. It's just a way for me to hold myself accountable and make sure that the money is getting spent where it needs to get spent and that I don't just overspend in another area because it's kind of like free money or something like that. So I'm just going to make a note of that. And then the IRS. So I initially owed the IRS and we were making $100 payments, but we paid the IRS off back in February. I didn't do my taxes, so I said that I wasn't going to include the $100 into my debt snowball because I felt like we would owe again this year when I did my taxes for 2019, and I was just going to set up another $100 payment to pay that down. I did do my taxes finally, yay, and I do owe a small amount, but not to where I have to be put on a payment plan. I don't have to pay this $100, so this $100 is going to go towards my debt snowball this month. But again, I like to put it as its own line just for now until I can get into the hang of things. And then, let's see, one of my other bills that I have that I don't normally, that's not normally in my budget each month is property tax. I moved and now I'm paying property taxes in the new city that I'm in. And that's $40 due on the 11th. Those are the only notes that I have to keep in mind. So I'm going to put this back into the planner. So this is my monthly bill list. And I've already pre-filled it out to kind of condense the video a little bit. But I'm paid on May 1st. And so what I like to do is I like to start at the first paycheck that I'm paid each month. So because I'm paid on May 1st, I'm starting at all my bills that are due from the 1st down. Now, I didn't include rent. Rent is due on the 1st because rent is something that I am a month ahead on. All of the rest of my bills, I'm not a month ahead on, so I pay them, as each month progresses. The first set of my bills starts on the 4th, and then I go all the way down to the end of the month. And then as you can see here, I have rent for the 1st because rent on June 1st is going to be included in my May budget. Here is my monthly bill calendar. I don't like to use this to check off the bills that are paid. I like to use my monthly bill list that I already showed you. But here I will put a check mark once the bill is paid. And then I'll put a circle around the check mark once the money actually comes out of my account. But I do like to get a visual each week to see what's going on in my bank account and what I need to do. So I like to use this as well. Some people may find it overkill. Some people only use the calendar. So you can choose which one is the best method for you. Like I said, I do both. I do the list and I do the calendar layout. Here's my bill pay calendar. As you can see, again, the blue are my paydays. All of the pink bills are bills that are on auto pay, auto draft, so they automatically draft it out of my account. I don't have to do anything else. And then these light oranges are the ones that I have to actually physically pay. Out of all of these bills, there are only 4 that I have to actually physically pay myself. And then these orange and pink ones that are mixed together, these 3 are the ones, again, that I still put it in my budget, but these are the ones that are going to go towards my debt snowball. So I will have to make that payment physically as well. Just a little background. I am a 2-income household. Both me and my husband have full-time jobs. And even with the coronavirus going on, we haven't had our income affected by it. I do work from home anyway, so my income is pretty stable. And then my husband is essential personnel, so he has to go to work. But his job is working on liberal leave right now, so he can choose to go if he wants to. And then if he chooses to stay home, he won't have disciplinary action held against him for that. But he has been working reduced weeks each week, so I am budgeting on the low end for him. My income pretty much stays the same each and every 2 weeks. So I will go ahead and write that down. There's an extra paycheck in May, which is why our income is kind of higher. I get paid 3 times. My husband gets paid 5 times. So I anticipate that my income will be around $6,000 this month. And then my husband, I estimate about $2,000. Again, I won't know for sure until the end of the month, but I do plan on coming back and doing a review and showing you the actuals and what we did with any additional money. Now, I do choose to share my actual numbers. I just feel like when people are just getting started in budgeting, they can get a more realistic sense of how to budget when you see actual numbers. At the end of the day, it's not about how much money you make. It's about what you do with the money that you do make. And me and my husband are blessed to have the income we do, but we still made a whole lot of mistakes that led us into 6 figures worth of debt that we are trying to work ourselves out of right now. The savings portion is next, and that is because I wholeheartedly believe that you should be paying yourself first. Before you even get your paycheck, the federal is taking their money off the top. So you need to have something to show for yourself. You work too hard. So I believe that you should be paying something towards savings each and every month. You work too hard not to have anything to show for it. This is why I have this first. No matter how much or how little you have to put towards savings, put something towards savings. So at the end of the year, you have a little cushion to sit on. Me and my husband are doing a savings challenge. We're both doing it individually. So it has us saving $2,020 in a year. So at the end of the year, me and my husband, if we both are able to stick to this savings challenge all year long, we should have $4,000 saved up. I don't know exactly what we're going to do with that money yet, but we will have it, and it'll be then that we decide what we do with it. We're also putting a small amount towards our emergency fund this month. I'm pretty comfortable with where our emergency fund is right now. We do have money coming out of our checks before we receive it that goes to a online bank automatically, so that we're saving each and every week that we're paid. So for this month, the challenge and then our emergency fund. So for both of us included, it's going to be $400 towards the challenge, and then the emergency fund $125. So that is $525 total for savings. And let me just calculate this really quick. All right, so remaining is $74.75. And then our expenses. So these expenses here are going to be all of my main bills, everything excluding my debt. I have a separate section for debt. But for my expenses, I'm just going to write them out really quick and then tell you what the budgeted amount is. So here are all of my bills that I have for the month of May. My rent is $970. My electric is gonna be $105. State Farm, so all of the ones that I start are basically the ones that I have to budget double for because I'm not paid again until June the 12th. So all of my bills that are due from the 1st to the 12th, I have to include them in my May budget, which is fine because I'm paid 3 times in May anyway. So State Farm, that's going to end up being $160. HP Inc. is going to end up being $22. Straight Talk, $140. iCloud, $6. Fios is my internet, and that is going to be $75. My water bill is going to be $70. Sprint is going to be $150. Now, Sprint is new as of March. So before all of this stuff happened, me and my husband went in Sam's Club, and it sounded like a really good deal with gift cards and things of that nature. And my husband kind of needed a new phone anyway. And so we ended up going with Sprint and getting so I got an iPhone XS Max. And then my husband got the newest Samsung S20 Ultra, and they were running deals. So if I turned in my iPhone 7S Plus, I would get a credit on my bill for that monthly installment. So my monthly installment for my phone is $12.50. And then my husband's monthly installment, they were running a special. His installment is, I believe, like a little less than $16. And I felt like that was okay because I normally don't budget a lot for our personal money anyway. In February and March, I believe, I didn't even budget anything towards personal. Everything went towards our bills and expenses. So normally my goal is to budget $100 towards each of us for that personal spending money. But since we have these monthly installments on these phones, I'm going to budget even less to take care of that. And then Netflix is $32. Property tax is $40. And then for my business expenses, so I have a separate business checking account, but I do fund that account from my full-time income. So I normally budget $215 each month. And so, because I have to double, it's going to seem like a lot, but it's $430. And as you can see, I don't like using cents. I just feel like it's so much easier to use whole numbers. So I do round up, and then the cents kind of add up and will take care of. Sometimes my bank puts a bill fee on my account. I don't know exactly which bills they're charging me a fee for, but it'll range anywhere from $2 to $2.50. So I find that by rounding up, I'm able to take care of the bill fee. I think it only does it for like 1 or 2 bills. So I'm just going to calculate the total of my expenses. And that total comes to $2,200. And if I deduct that from what was remaining, I get $52.75. Alright, so next is the debt expenses. Now, I like to separate my regular expenses from my debt expenses because I like to see exactly how much I'm paying each month towards debt. It kind of gives me a kick in the butt and helps hold me accountable, because once I can see how much we're actually spending towards debt payments each month, it kind of motivates me to do what I have to do, because all of that money could be going towards investments and could be going towards things that we actually want to do. Like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life paying off debt. I want to be able to invest and leave stuff behind, leave generational wealth for my kids. So this is motivation for me, and that is the sole reason why I separate it out. Again, I'm just going to write in all of my bills and then explain the amounts a little bit. Again, these starred bills are the bills that are going to be double for May, and then I highlighted these once again just to kind of give me a reminder that these are the ones that I'm going to be paying towards my debt snowball and not towards the actual company themselves. So PayPal is going to be $159. Journey is going to be $193. Wyndham is going to be $115. Nelnet $200. Citi is $60. Capital One is $129. Walmart is $120. Chase is $97. The IRS $100. My Fed loan is $262. Discover is going to be $105. Flexline is going to be $20. My personal loan is going to be $552. Sally Mae is going to be $50. So I'm just going to add all of those up. And that comes to $21.62. Now I just want to deduct to see what my remaining is. So I left off at $52.75. Now I have $31.13 remaining. And this is going to go towards sinking funds, cash envelopes, a buffer, and additional debt. So my income is budgeted at $8,000. Savings is $525. My expenses came to $2,200. My debt came to $21.62. And this remaining amount should match this one. And it does. Alright, so what I actually do is I'm just starting this new thing where I'm trying to budget the cash envelopes and the sinking funds separately. For personal, I'm being conservative. I'm only budgeting $50 towards both of us. So that's $100 total. Mother's Day, I'm only budgeting $100. I think what we're going to do is just give my mom and my mother-in-law a $50 gift card and a regular card and keep it moving. Car gas, again, my husband is still working. And we do take my vehicle when we go grocery shopping and things like that. So I'm not budgeting as much as I normally budget for gas, but it's still on a higher end because he is still working. So that is $290. And then groceries. I normally budget $125 a week for groceries, so that's going to be $625 this month. But I'm on a journey to go vegan, and my household is not going vegan. However, I do plan on incorporating more plant-based meals in their diet. And so I think in the upcoming months, I'm definitely going to have to increase our budget a lot. Childcare, $375. And if you remember, my mom watches my kids. I do a flex spending account. And then allowance for the kids is $50. All right, add that up. $1,540. For my sinking funds, I don't have too much that I'm putting towards my sinking funds, but household, and this is things like paper plates, dish detergent, toilet paper, paper towels if we can find any, and laundry detergent, things like that. Anything we need for the house, but I'm being on the low end as well with that. $50. Self-care, $15. I really liked, I think her channel is called Essentially Planning, and I was watching her channel and she had a self-care envelope and I thought that was so neat, and so I put it in here, but I only put $15 towards it. But it's important to take care of yourself. Car maintenance, We have 20-year-old cars, so I'm really faithful with budgeting for the car maintenance each and every month. My goal is to really get up to where we can budget $150 for each car each month, but we're not there yet, so $170. Homeschool is $65. I know pretty much all of America is homeschooling right now, but we've been homeschooling for almost 2 years and we have to pay for everything out of pocket. We don't get any reimbursements from the state. We don't get any grants or anything like that. And homeschooling can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. So we do put some money towards our homeschool fund each month. Clothing is going to get $60, and then gifts is going to get $100, and this is going to go towards my son's birthday. All right, so that total is $460. So my cash envelopes came to $1,540. Yeah. And then the sinking funds came to $460. And that is $1,113. Now, this money is not free money. Again, we try to stick to a zero-based budget, which has us having every dollar accounted for. So I do want to put in a little buffer. And that buffer is going to end up being $43. And then the debt snowball is going to end up being $1070, I believe. Yes. So this is what my budget looks like for May, and I'm really excited about it because we're going to be making so much progress towards our debt, and I'm so anxious for this month to be over so that I can do my May debt update. But if you're interested in seeing more content like this, more budget with me videos, or you want to follow our debt-free journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified when I'm uploading a new video. Until next time, guys, bye.